but I'm glad that everybody is watching this morning. We're live on the Dave Logan profile on Facebook. We are live on the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel. Both of them have a live chat. We are live. If you follow me on Twitter at BoogieWTBull, at BoogieWTBull, the Boogie with the Bull X account, you can watch the broadcast. There is not a live chat through the Twitter link, X link at this time. I suggest that you go to the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel if you want to be in a live chat, because most of you don't do Facebook anyway. With us today, William Rayfield is here. Jen Woodruff will probably pop in. And unfortunately, Bill Buckler had to cancel this morning. He will not be here. Everyone is wearing red. I'm wearing red. Ray is wearing red. It's Red Friday, which is Remember Everyone Deployed. Today, we take a moment or a day to remember everyone who was deployed around the world and even here in the United States. As Bill said, if you're serving in the United States, you've been deployed in the United States. And we take a moment to remember everyone who was deployed and at the end of their deployment did not return to the United States. And that is important. And my words are losing, so I'm going to introduce William and give Ray a chance to do some opening thoughts. And then we'll dive into, as I like to call it, today's testimony.
Good morning, Dave. Good morning, Patriot Nation. Great Friday, great Red Friday. Prayers out to all of the troops overseas. Prayers out to all of those who have given the ultimate price and sacrifice. Prayers out to their families. We're winning. It doesn't look like it, but behind the scenes, we're winning. And I just want to stay focused on that. Try to stay as positive as we can. And we'll talk about more of the show. We'll talk about it more as we go into the show.
Good. I did say to Ray in the green room before we went on, I'm not seeing, and maybe I'm looking in the wrong places, but I'm not seeing enough people. I'm the wrong one to harp on. I'm not seeing enough people, but I'm not seeing enough people on the streets doing whatever they can do to show their support for President Trump going through the New York trial and being landed with 34 guilty verdicts that could land him in prison for 134 years if Justice, 136 years, excuse me, if Justice Merchan gets his way on July 11th. Personally, I think Justice Merchan should be sentenced to 134 years. Everyone knows that most of that trial, if not all of it, was bogus stuff that you don't prosecute someone for. Also, in the case that they brought back as another one of the counts, the supposed $130,000 hush fund or hush money payment to Stormy Daniels. Well, as Ray said the other day on a Boogie broadcast, she signed a non-disclosure agreement. She's disclosed it publicly. Whether she had to be questioned about it in court or not. So maybe she needs to give whoever made the payment the $130,000 back. And I say whoever because President Trump is adamant that he did not make the payment or authorize the payment. It looks like Michael Cohen somehow got the money and drafted the non-disclosure agreement and made the payment. So maybe Michael Cohen will now prove that he perjured himself and maybe he belongs back in jail. Other than that, Ray, what's your take on what's happening today?
Well, I think a lot of Trumpsters are just sitting back waiting to see what happens.
Yeah.
A lot of them really feel that because this is such a blatant character of misjustice that it will right its own ship at the end of the day. Um, a lot of them say this isn't going anywhere. So I see a level of complacency within Mega Nation sitting back. I believe um, hoping America is going to do what America does and stand up for the rule of law eventually, and this will just be another phase that we've gone through where people have tried to do some unjust things, but at the end of the day, the rule of law have taken over. That's just my opinion of it. And then some of them are scared. Some of them are scared.
I think people have a right to be scared. I mean, I'm scared. Each day we're hearing, you know, more of what the Democrats want to do, and it just seems like uh, they're out to make Mr. Biden a dictator. Uh, and I keep hearing more and more, as I keep saying on every broadcast lately, that uh, they don't. Democrats expect that if Joe Biden goes to the convention, wins the nomination, very shortly after he will resign it, step down, ask that Gavin Newsom, governor of California, become the, the nominee, the candidate. I don't believe he has any chance of beating Donald Trump. I don't believe anybody thinks he has a chance of beating Donald Trump. Then there's still the question of whether or not Joe will resign the presidency before the election. And there's all kinds of controversy around that. If you step down as president before the election, that would raise Kamala Harris, vice president, to president. That might give her the opportunity to bring Gavin Newsom in as vice president for the rest of the term, and maybe help when he runs against President Trump. I personally think that if Joe resigns the presidency before the end of the term and Kamala Harris becomes president, I wouldn't be surprised if the entire Congress, both Republicans, Democrats, and a few independent members, impeach Harris for being involved with everything wrong that is and was Joe Biden's presidency. And if Gavin Newsom becomes her vice president, he becomes president, and he gets a few months before the election. I don't, like I said, I don't see any chance that he would do it. I don't see Joe stepping down from the presidency before the end of his term. But it's all just a mess, and it's just one theory after another. And I don't think anybody who is pushing these theories out has the actual and factual on what's going on. I even heard yesterday watching a few.
I know what the actual and factual is.
You do.
We don't know.
Right, but I also
we're in no man's land. We've never been here before.
I heard yesterday watching YouTubes of Democrat-based broadcasters on YouTube saying that they believe there's a possibility that Joe may not even be invited to the Democrat convention. And the only reason I would think that they would say that or reveal that that's what the Democrat Party is thinking is that they're going to force a brokered convention where Joe, it doesn't just become the nominee or their candidate because he's the Democrat president. Anybody could nominate themselves or be nominated in a brokered convention, and the one who gets the most votes walks away being the candidate. And I think it would be an embarrassment to Joe Biden if he were a Democrat president, to go into their convention assuming that he's going to be
I
their
think I,
nominee
I
and
think I
not
brought, I think I,
become the nominee.
I
Go
think I
ahead.
brought this up on your show last week. They're talking about having a virtual convention. This way, nobody can stand up and put nobody else forward to represent them for candidate. Um, they're going to use the premise of safety because they already know thousands of people are waiting for them to show up in Chicago or wherever they go, and they do not want that. So when I was talking last week, the last thing I heard was them doing this by virtual TV.
Yeah.
So he wouldn't have to show up, and they would just be able to put out the narrative that he's still the Democratic choice for president. So I don't know about any brokered convention. I haven't heard anything about. Last thing I heard about the convention is that they were gonna do it through virtual.
Okay.
So I haven't heard
Well,
anything else about
but
that.
a brokered convention is nothing more than anyone can nominate themselves at the convention. Joe gets nominated
And
because
that's the reason they're not going to have the
he
convention
right.
because they're not going to allow nobody to stand up in public and have the opportunity to do that because
Okay.
they're going to be taking a chance that there will be a sicko out there that'll say we want so and so from South Dakota to be president, and then the whole world done seen it, and then they try to sweep it under the rug. You can't have that.
Okay.
Can't have that.
You don't sweep it under the rug. I mean,
You don't let it take place.
I personally don't believe that at the Democratic National Convention in Chicago, regardless of whether or not you're watching it at home on YouTube TV or you're in the hall taking part, I believe it's come to the point where Joe Biden is not going to be the nominee. And the only way that you fix that is you have a brokered convention, which is within the rules. You have a nominating convention. Normally,
do you know how many protesters would be there? Do you know how many pro-Palestinian protesters? They are not going to allow those type of optics to get out to the public.
Okay.
They're not going to allow it.
It's a standard part of the convention. I mean, anybody can go.
Hey, what about this administration has been standard?
It has nothing to do with the Biden administration. It has to do with the rules of the Democrat Party, the rules of the Republican Party.
They stomped on the Constitution. Do you think they care about rules? They stomped on the Constitution.
Right. It's their own rules of their own party.
They change their rules. They make up their rules as they go.
Okay. Right.
Don't you understand
having
that?
Having a convention is to come up with a candidate for president. They're not required to take the incumbent president and make them the nominee. Everybody votes at the convention. All the Democrats that are there vote for who the candidate is going to be. Anybody can nominate themselves. It's within the rules of both parties. It's part of the nominating
if they
convention.
are trying to push Joe Biden,
they're trying to push.
Listen, let me finish. If they are trying to push Joe Biden, why would they allow other people to push people up for representation for president for their party?
Because the odds are that if we have a majority of the House, majority of the Senate, Joe Biden will be impeached if he gets reelected. Okay? The country is in bad shape because we have a president who's incompetent and not able to do the job that he's doing, the job that he has. I'm not saying anything from Mars, an idea, a nominating convention. Anybody can be nominated. Anybody can run against Joe Biden, who's a Democrat incumbent president, to become the candidate of the party. There's nothing wrong with that. Joe Biden and most of the Democrats are assuming because he's the incumbent Democrat president that at the convention he's going to be the only person nominated to be
Nobody
president.
said that. No. So
Okay.
suppose they have the convention and people get up and say we nominate RFK Jr.
They can. And, well,
I know.
You
But
have
then what'll happen?
no. It has to be a Democrat.
Okay, well, suppose they get up.
RFK Jr. is an independent.
Suppose they get up and nominate another Democrat for president. What happens after that?
Then a bunch more get up and nominate themselves.
No,
or
but
other
what
people.
happens after that step?
Then there
What's
is
the
a
next
vote.
step
There's
after they
a
nominate?
vote once they have all of the candidates who have either nominated themselves or been nominated by other Democrats. There is a vote where they vote on all of those who were nominated, not just Joe Biden. Joe Biden is assuming, because he's the incumbent Democrat president, that he is going to win on first ballot. That is not likely to happen. Joe Biden is not Donald Trump, who going into the Republican convention where they will nominate their candidate for president, it's only going to be Donald Trump. Even if someone else shows up and nominates themselves or nominates someone else, it's going to be Trump. He's going to win on the first vote because he's the only person Republicans believe deserves to be president of the United States in 2024, elected president in 2024. But it's not uncommon that more than one person is nominated at the convention and they all run against each other. Joe Biden is believing that even if that happens, he's going to win on first ballot.
Why is it so difficult for you and others to understand the simple fact that they have chosen Joe Biden? The man can't walk, the man can't talk, the man can't see, but they have chosen him because he can be used as a tool. If they was going to get rid of Joe Biden, they would have got rid of Joe Biden the first day he fell.
If he doesn't win the nomination at their nominating convention, which is their convention this year, he's not the candidate. So it doesn't matter who sits on this screen as a Democrat elitist or a senior Democrat and says he's going to be the president because we want him to be the president.
That's why they're not going to have a convention, because they're not going to allow nobody the opportunity to stand up and put their candidate forward. Since I heard last week about the virtual Democratic convention, things have changed, because I got to go look it up now. Okay. So that's what you're telling me. Things have changed, because the last thing I heard, they was doing it by virtual TV to prevent. They was going behind for security reasons because they didn't want the pro-Palestinian people to come disrupt it. So they said we're going to do it virtual. So you must.
They're not.
So you heard something that's changed.
American citizens are not being invited. They can attend that convention. That any Democrat American citizen can attend that convention. When it comes to voting for the candidate, no, you're a delegate from a state that has pledged your delegate vote in that. But Ray, they can't. Ray, okay,
they don't want the optics. Can you imagine 100 people in there, pro-Palestinian people standing up, disrupting the convention, doing all of this stuff?
They're not disrupting. They're not disrupting the convention. Delegates get elected from states.
I'm not talking about delegates. I'm talking about the everyday normal citizen that's going to be allowed to enter that facility. And once they get it packed, you're going to realize that you got 100 pro-Palestinian protests in there, and they're going to get up and start chanting, "Joe genocide, genocide Joe." They will not allow these type of optics.
Okay.
That's why they
okay.
brought up last week the convention by virtual TV, so they can control it. So I don't know why. Okay, never mind.
They can say that's what they're going to do. That they can say that's what they're going to do. But
Dude,
in the history of the United States of America, in the history of the United States of America, no major party, Republican or Democrat, has ever held their nominating convention.
In the history of America, no president has ever been convicted of false bullshit. What do you mean?
I understand what you were saying.
You keep going. You go, okay, they're legal. They're not legal. They're gonna do it the right way. They're not doing it. Bro, these are evil, crooked people. So stop trying to go back and say, well, this is how they do it, so it's gonna be done. No, they changed the script.
And what's going to happen? And what's going to happen is, Ray, they're only doing that also so that Joe Biden isn't in a hall and doesn't get elected. Doesn't get elected their nominee.
Dave.
And what are they going to do? They're going to screw with everybody's computer. They're going to screw with everybody's computer and make it look like they all voted for Joe Biden.
Hey Jen, how you doing this morning?
Hi, good to see you guys. Yeah, I feel so bad. I feel like this whole cabal is abusing this guy. He needs to retire. He needs to live on a beach with Jill, far, far away. Go to the Cayman Islands. No one will pick on you. Yeah, it was just so sad.
If by the grace of some God, Joe Biden walks away with the Democrat nomination for president in 2024 and defeats Donald Trump again and gets elected president to a majority Republican House and a majority Republican Senate, he will be impeached. And the Democrats know that.
Yeah.
If he pardons Hunter, the majority of Republicans will elect Trump president because they don't agree. They don't agree with that. There are Democrats, I'm sure, that don't agree. That there are Democrats that don't agree.
Did you see him?
Could be pardoned
in Germany. Oh my God, he went to Normandy to give like the best speech. He was gonna plagiarize it right from Reagan's mouth. It was gonna be beautiful, and he pooped his pants. He had to go.
He went reaching for a chair that wasn't even there.
I know. Thank God we saw that on the news. Did someone catch him? I saw him do that. I was like, he's gonna sit. He's gonna sit. And then all of a sudden they switched screens. I don't know if he fell, but he pooped his pants, and Jill had to take him out. It was sad.
Is that the video where? Is that the video where he's standing between Hunter and Jill?
Oh no, I think.
It looks like I thought he bent over kind of. I thought he was gonna die. I thought he was going.
He was going. They had seats behind. They had chairs behind them, and he went to reach for his chair, and he seen everybody else wasn't sitting down, so he paused. That's all it was. He went to sit down, and he looked over, and he's like, "Oh shit, let me just stay here."
It more looked.
That's a great choice of words.
It more looked like he actually had an accident in his
pants.
suit.
It was
after he seen that he made a mistake. He might have shit himself. He might have been like, "Oh shit."
Oh, whoops. There we go.
Well,
oh God.
All the more reason why your mom always told you make sure you have clean underwear on before you go do something important, and make sure. My dad used to say, make sure you go to the bathroom before you do something important.
So, have y'all been keeping up with the Georgia case with Hood Chick Willis?
Funny. How's that going?
Y'all haven't been keeping up with it? Dave?
I've been reading the headlines, but
what did the headlines say?
I know she's in trouble.
with her own stuff. Nothing to do with Trump.
The state
Right.
legislature wants her to testify before them, and evidently she doesn't want to.
Okay. Cut to the chase. The Georgia Court of Appeals have halted the case altogether in its entirety until the case investigation of Fannie Willis is concluded.
Right.
Bottom line. No, don't say right. You didn't know that. The Georgia Court of Appeals have put a stop to the Trump case. A stop. It is on halt. It is going no further until we look into the deeds or the misdeeds of Miss Fannie Willis. This case is over. Just like the rest of them are going to be over. They're not going nowhere. None of them went anywhere. And the other ones that are pending on them ain't going nowhere. They're all getting shut down. The New York case, going nowhere. The Court of Appeals already said it went past the statute of limitation, but Bragg wanted to drag it. So now we're going to wait 2 weeks, and the New York Court of Appeals is going to say bye-bye. So I've told everybody from day one, if you live on a lie and stand on a lie, you're going to die on it.
Crumble. Good. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Rhodes and everybody else out here who get this heartache because we get a little bumps and bruises.
Who?
Keep the faith.
Wait a minute. Who?
You heard what I said. People like Randy Rhodes and other people that
wait a minute.
when you get a little bit of bad information, you and there's others out there. It's just but he came to my mind because he's one of my boys. So I can do that.
Okay.
But
we talked about that. We talked about that in the green room, and we weren't going to bring it up.
See, there you go again. No, we didn't go in depth. I just made a comment. I didn't go in depth and bring out none of Randy's personal shit. Okay? I didn't
bring up any of Randy's personal things. I just said that Randy
don't get into it.
Randy decided
going into your whole
Randy decided that he was not going to do broadcast anymore because Trump got 34 guilty verdicts.
Okay, well, see, you're going into depth. You're going into depth. I didn't go into depth. I just said people that get discouraged off of every little thing, and I left it at that. People don't need to know every little small little detail, especially about us. We just they can know we have disagreements, but they don't need to know the in-depth petty shit because we're not on here to agree. We're not robots. We're not yes men. Not.
And there have been many broadcasts that Randy and I did not agree.
So it's no secret.
It
wouldn't be no secret for me to say, okay, there are people who get discouraged when they hear bad news, but I'm not going into little nuances about it.
Okay. I think the three of us here are the opposite. When we hear bad news, we fire up a broadcast either together.
But there are some people when they hear bad news, they're ready to go bury their head in the sand and go wrap their head in a pillowcase and get under 4 comforters and sleep for 4 days without taking a shower. And
we put on the coffee pot and talk. That's good. You know who I miss? Who I can't stand the guy, but I miss him. Gavin Newsom. Where is he? He's supposed to replace. I can't stand him. He's supposed to replace Biden. I would rather see somebody.
I was watching a hearing.
Yes.
I don't remember which hearing it was. It was an old one, I think, and it was on YouTube. And someone, by mistake, said Governor Gavin Newsom, and they ripped him a new one for saying Newscum. And my response to that would have been, I always drop something like that so that I don't get nailed by Facebook or YouTube
it was a misspelling.
I never say Merrick Garland. I say marinated in garlic. I never say Governor Gavin Newsom. I say Governor Gavin Newscum.
Right.
They can't nail me for stuff like that.
Let's talk a little intellectual here, okay? Gavin Newsom is a very bright, smart, articulate, handsome man.
Yeah.
Why in the hell, if he really wants to be president one day, why would he get himself mixed up into this and label himself as a tyrant? What? I'm so glad I got the gift of the human brain. That's why Gavin Newsom ain't nowhere around. He doesn't. He already knows. Damn, I already was associated with these people, and I want to be president. I don't care if it's 10 years from now. I have to distance myself. So I am not known as one of these people who tried to take down America.
I think Gavin,
the murkier it gets, the more people start to separate and distance themselves away from it, especially those who have future endeavors that they want to look forward to in the future. That's why Gavin Newsom is out of sight, out of mind.
Well, I think part of Gavin's plan, or part of what Democrats wanted him to do, was when Dianne Feinstein passed away, I think Democrats wanted Nancy Pelosi, who was no longer Speaker because Republicans have the majority of the House, they wanted to move her to the Senate. They wanted Newsom to move Auntie Nancy to the Senate. That would have put him in the House in her seat, and they would have had to elect a new governor, and that would have given him some closer experience to be viewed as a true candidate or person worthy of being president, only because, yes, being the governor of a state is like being the president of a state, but it's not like being the president of the whole country.
Let me give you a small analogy. You go to Jen's house. You and Jen are friends, and you go to her house faithfully. Y'all have dinner and all of this shit. And then one day, Jen and her husband, they decide one morning they want to get up and they want to go rob the bank. And then the FBI is looking for them and everything. And then Jen and her husband calls you and say, Dave, why don't you come on over for dinner? Are you going to her house for dinner? Be honest. Are you going back over there like you used to? And you know that the walls of the FBI are closing. Dave, I'm not joking. I'm using this as a
I believe the only
Are you going back there?
I believe the only reason that I will ever get invited over to Jesse's house for dinner is so that he can either chew me out or beat me up for the way Jen treated on broadcast sometimes.
After her robbing the bank, are you going to continue to go over there knowing that the FBI is looking for them and might come to the house anytime?
No, you'll want.
Probably because I want to be there.
Never mind. I can't have. I'm trying to be serious.
I want to be there with the Boogie with the Bull cameras when Jen gets arrested.
No, I ain't never going to see Jen again. I'll see Jen after she get caught, locked up, do her time, and I'll be at her coming out party. That's when I'm going to see Jen.
I promise I won't rob.
I figure when Jen gets arrested and she's going to be in court, I'm either going to be a witness for the prosecution, the FBI that arrested her, and all of that because she does broadcasts, or I'm going to be a character witness because she does Boogie with the Bull broadcast, and she's an admin in all of my 600.
I'll say I learned everything from you. Sorry. Yeah, he doesn't want nothing to do with them.
You learned a little bit from me. You learned a lot from Eric Leon Barton because you were an admin of Eric Leon Barton's Americans for Free Speech.
Yeah.
After I became the first member and the second admin.
I'm like, did I get kicked out of that group too?
No. I was there when Eric started that group. Eric merged one of his groups that he had like 1,500 members of into the Great American Nation group. And it brought us to 2,000 members. And then he became an admin in the other groups that I had. And then he wanted to create his own group again, which is a noble thing. And he launched Americans for Free Speech. You were in there, you became an admin, and that's how you got dragged into the wonderful world of Boogie with the Bull. And all I can do is confess that I still think it was a great thing to bring you aboard, but did you see things in the world that you didn't need to see or want to see? I'm sure you probably did.
It's okay. Yeah, no, but I'm glad that Ray Ray is here because I wanted to say the thing I'm most concerned about right now is the Islamization of America. We need a strong leader up there. I'm not even against Islam. I'm not saying let's fight them. I'm not as radical as other people are about making the desert glass. No. I'm saying, can we just get some people with a strong voice and strong convictions to just tell them no? I mean, these free Palestine, anti Israel protests at the college. Isn't there anyone who can say no and shut it down? Where's the parents?
See,
Where's
South
the grown up in the room who can tell these people
in
stop it?
in
That's
South
inciting violence.
Carolina, it was one of the Carolinas, either north or south. I don't remember which one. The
Right.
the chancellor or president uh, of the university held a news conference, and he made it very clear to the reporters that were there that the pro-Hamas protests would not be welcome at his campus uh, because he felt that it interrupted the flow of university
Study.
life. Right,
Yeah.
right. He said to them, I think he was asked where would they go, and he said anywhere but here. It's not like they don't have a right to assemble and protest at at our university, but it's the people that are protesting are people that they're not even students. They're just he hinted like he felt that like they are professional protesters who do nothing but travel from one university to another,
Paid actors, right?
and
Yeah, that's all they are.
they
That's all
wait
they are.
right they wait until they get chased off one university and they get in the car and they go to another one. So I support I support things I support things like that. I support that that students at a university have a right to have any group they want at their university and active on campus. It may not be a group that I agree with or other people agree with, but not everybody at that university is a Catholic, is a Jew, is a Muslim, is a this or a that. So, I've always said that if those groups have a right to have a club on campus, then you have to accept devil
Listen,
worshippers.
Yeah, a club
You
is
have to
different
accept
than
them.
taking
You have
over
to
our
accept
country.
everybody else.
No,
Well,
it's the Islamization of America. I can't stand that. I saw a whole special on TikTok.
no,
I know, naughty because China owns them.
no,
But
no, no.
anyways, it was about Hamtramck,
They they
Michigan.
only
We used to like this was back in the 90s. We would go there every weekend. And for my work we would go there. I worked at a Polish American restaurant, especially around Lent. When Lent started, we would go to the Old Village Bakery down in Hamtramck to get those punchkis, those extremely fattening but delicious donuts. They were like
yeah
jelly donuts,
yeah
okay? And they made them like for real with like a pound of lard, a pound of calories, a pound of sugar. My God, it was so good. You can't even do that anymore. We used to drive down. It was like 20 minutes from where we worked, from where I worked. I was a waitress. We would go to Hamtramck and we would get these things, and you can't do that anymore. You can't even drive through there because the Sharia law has taken such a stronghold in that city. And I'm not bashing Muslims at all. I'm just saying nobody who's human needs to treat an animal like that, or a woman or a child. What is it with this religion? It's so sad. What do you say, Ray Rakes? I know you're related to some, but these really radical ones stress the heck out of me. They should stress the heck out of everyone.
man. Like you said, they're the radical ones. We deal with radicals in all walks of life. Um, we're going to continue to deal with radicals. How we deal with them, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, hope hopefully once the rule of law returns, um, people like that can be held accountable. Other than that, if it's not the rule of law, it's other human beings that take care of the situation. And so, I still think I'm still under the mindset that we're gonna go through a lot, but we can withstand a lot.
That's good.
There's a reason we're the greatest country on God's green earth.
Okay, I'm gonna read a comment, actually two comments that for some reason are in the live chat on Facebook, but didn't come up on the broadcast screen on StreamYard. They're from Daryl Wright. Talking is not working at this point in time. It's time to go on the take and shutting it down where it starts. This is Major Tom to ground control. Do you see any intelligent life, sir? No, sir. Well, then, Daryl is putting together a broadcast, podcast, whatever you want to call it, what we do. He will be on Rumble soon. We invite him to join us all the time. He's always welcome if he wants to, but that's his view. And like I said, I wanted to read it because I, for some reason, don't have it on the broadcast screen and able to highlight it on your screen. He ends it by saying, America is damaged to the point that you will never see anything like the past again. Thank you, Daryl. And just remember, you are welcome. I know you're probably at work right now and you can't join us because you're at work right now, but you're always welcome to join us.
I got to get ready to go here real quick. I got another appointment. But before I go, if I could, last night was my first show on the Real News with Lucretia Hughes with Fallback Production Studios. I will be, and I didn't have time to link it up onto my link, but from now on, I will be partnering up with Lucretia Hughes, and I will be weekly collaborating with her. So y'all look forward to that also.
Awesome.
I heard from a lot of people that watched it yesterday that it was fantastic. Jane O'Malley. Jane
that's my sister right there.
Yeah, Jane has watched Boogie broadcasts for years. She works during the day. If she misses one during the day, she watches it when she can. And Tuesday, Thursday night, she's always with us. Last night, she was in the role of fact checker. When we couldn't remember the exact words or something, Jane looked it up, and it was just a pleasure. But she said that
your show is awesome.
That it was really good.
We really had fun
today and make sure if you didn't share it into all of our groups, which you usually share your broadcast into, then I will make sure it is shared too. Lucretia is a fantastic person.
Well, hey, we both from Brooklyn. It is amazing being able to sit split screen from an opposite sex, but that has a brain like yours. Yeah. We just keep it 100, keep it actual and factual, and
when she had the first Faith Over Fear rally in Georgia, I got invited to go. Some people were actually gonna cover my airfare up and back, but something happened at the last minute. But she is just a fantastic person, spot on, has a good following. If you're on Facebook, you should pay attention. And if you're not on Facebook, I'm sure there's a YouTube channel for Fallback.
She's all over the place. She's on 24
Fallback Productions. Go over and make sure that you are paying attention to it. And if you watch it on YouTube, take it off of YouTube and share it on Facebook.
And it's on X. And she's on a plethora of other platforms that I haven't even heard of.
Yep.
What is the name of your show?
Yep.
It's The Real News with Lucretia
Real
Hughes.
News.
Real News with Lucretia Hughes.
Yep.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, you watch that. Yep. Man, I haven't had so much fun on the podcast. But it's fun when you got somebody who's on the same wavelength with you, and because there's a flow to it. There's a flow. And y'all saying the same thing in different ways, but it's all actual and factual. See, that's what I love. That's what opened up people's eyes. There were so many people on her show that were like, "Are y'all serious?" Yeah, look it up. Don't take our word for it, because we were so raw, so authentic. People were like, "Wow." And that's what it's all about. It's good to at times have a little friction, because that what makes any network podcast, from sports to whatever, you always got to have them offsetting opinions. But what really makes it flow is when people can sit back and watch 2 to 3, 4, 5 people all on the same accord, all moving to the same rhythm, and then they can sit back and they're not being bounced back and forth. They can concentrate and they can zoom in on the context of what we're talking about and be like, well, damn, he makes sense. She makes sense. Wow. See, rather than say, well, he said this and he said that, I don't know what so there's a rhythm to it. There's a flow that goes with it. And she's the first person in a long time, since I've been doing this in 8 years, that I've come up across that we agree to disagree, but it's more of the flow that goes into it. And it's just awesome. It's just awesome. So
That's great.
Real wonderful experience, and I look forward to a beautiful journey on that with her. And I'll be down there July 13th. She's having a yard gathering, a fundraising, bunch of stuff going on. I got family reunion down there, and she's right across the county, so I'll be popping in there on the 13th. So that'll be awesome.
Good.
But other than that, I'm gonna get ready to go. But Dave, I appreciate it as always to be able to be on here. America, please understand and know America is winning behind the scenes. We are winning. Don't stay focused on the optics that appear right in front of you. Behind the scenes, things are happening. Things are happening.
Yep. That's awesome. Yep. Thanks, Ray. Yep. Good to see you.
Thanks, Ray.
Thanks, guys.
Always a pleasure. All right. I'm not going to pop your parachute. I'm going to let you do it yourself. Any final bits of wisdom? Like, I have to stop yelling at people on broadcast.
I know nothing. No. No, good morning. I feel like that was a big stretch. I'm not Dana Perino. She is awesome. She can do broadcast, television on Thursday night and then come back Friday morning. She's sitting up there with Bill Hemmer, and I'm like, how do you do that? So I'm sorry I was so late, Dave. I get tired. I get tired. I don't know.
I don't care. I just
awesome.
You're never late when you show up. When people, I send the link, and when people arrive, that's when they arrive. And unfortunately, Bill couldn't be with us this morning, so I kind of scrambled to put a panel together.
Right.
And otherwise, it would have been me for about 42 and a half minutes. And
oh, that's fun. That's great.
No, it's not fun. It's not fun to do Boogie with Mo broadcast by yourself anymore.
Right, by yourself. Who wants to do that?
No, it's not. It's not fun. It's fun. It's okay if there's a live chat going. I don't know why Daryl Rector's comments are showing up on Facebook, but not coming through on the StreamYard screen here in the studio. But he also says, keep it on. Let's all do this together, no matter if we agree on everything or not. We are all human and deserve whatever we like individually. Daryl, you're a smart man. And again, I'll say you're welcome to come on anytime you want. You'll even be allowed to talk. We don't have to agree, or we can agree to disagree, or we can just not even worry about it and just let each other talk. But you're welcome to come on. Jen, it's always a pleasure. Robert Angel Little did reach out to me last night and apologize, but he had a last-minute work meeting and could not be on the panel. He wants to try for Tuesday night. So Tuesday night's broadcast will be an open discussions broadcast with me, a panel, and we'll shoot for 1 million live views on Tuesday.
That's
And
awesome.
if you want to be on the panel, you can message me, and you'll probably get an invite to be on the panel. You can watch on the YouTube channel, and only be allowed to come on if you got something worthy
If that's something worthy to say.
of saying. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, I want to thank Groove Jimmy X for reminding everybody that was watching Boogie with the Bull the other night that we're the #1 broadcast on YouTube.
Did he say that?
No.
I was like, what a good liar. Love that guy.
No. He was very clear that he didn't like the broadcast. He didn't like me. He thought I was too old to be doing this.
Oh, no. That was it. Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. He said.
I was like, he was picking on you. He was picking on Ray. I was like, get me out of here before he looks at me. Oh, my God. That was funny.
Yeah.
Weird.
Well, it's funny. I don't care. You know, if you have to come onto a Boogie with the Bull broadcast and make me look terrible and make yourself look great so that you get other people to watch your broadcast, that's fine. But if you go Howard Stern on me, I'm going to go Rush Limbaugh on you.
Oh, my gosh. That's amazing.
Anyway, 4 minutes after 11, I got to get dressed.
Okay.
Things to go out and do, and I appreciate you
Good to see you.
stopping by, and take the rest of the weekend off with pay. I don't think Monday morning caffeine at 10 a.m. You're welcome to join us. Wednesday morning, you're welcome to join us. Tuesday night, I hope you'll be here only because, like I said, Robert Angel Little, the author of Innocence Lost,
That's fun.
walking us through his experience of the Romanian Revolution and coming to the United States, is going to be a panel member on the broadcast, and he has a lot of interesting stuff to bring up.
Yes, he does. Okay.
So,
all right,
Jen.
Thank you.
Have a great weekend. All right. Everyone, there's the homeschooling mom. If you're interested in homeschooling, or you are homeschooling and you want to talk to someone about it, Jen Woodruff is a good person to talk to. Michaela Hawkins is watching and reading the live chat. Daryl Rector was watching and was in the live chat. And let me see. Gemini Lava Fangs is watching, my buddy. And let's see, Daniel Smith. I don't know if you're new or not, but glad that you watched and took part in the live chat. And Lisa Slowhand is my buddy, and she was watching. She doesn't say much a lot of times on the broadcast, but she does watch. Danny Campbell is watching. So now Danny Campbell is one broadcast ahead of William Grant, meaning that Danny Campbell has watched the most Boogie with the Bull broadcasts in the history of Boogie with the Bull. And whether or not that's an honor, you have to decide for yourself. We're here on Facebook Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 10 a.m. Open discussions on Monday and Wednesday. Friday, it's normally Red Friday with Bill Muckler. And then we get Bill's commentary on what's going on in the week that we're in. Unfortunately, he could not be with us this morning. And we hope that he will be with us next Friday morning. Or perhaps maybe during the week we'll get him on another broadcast if he's available to come on. Anyway, oh no, excuse me. That's actually right. We do have a broadcast Monday, but it's going to be Monday night at 7 p.m. because the house is at karate, and I can do it at 7 p.m. Monday morning, I have a doctor's appointment that I cannot move. So there will not be a Monday morning 10 a.m. Boogie with the Bull, Monday morning caffeine. It will be a Monday evening open discussions broadcast, 7 p.m. to about 8:30. I gotta write this stuff down because I don't remember it all the time. And if Donna didn't just remind me, you all would have tuned in Monday morning at 10 o'clock and found nothing. Make sure you're a member of our groups on Facebook, some other groups on Facebook. Everybody join Street Fighters, John Johnson's group. The It's everything that a conservative, a patriot, a MAGA person wants, and more. If you're a friend of mine and I haven't invited you, wait. I will invite you shortly. I went from getting 1 hour restrictions for inviting people to getting 6-day restrictions if I invite people and I welcome them to the group when they join. So I'm delayed in being able to invite people at the spur of the moment and never know. So if I haven't invited you yet, go join the group. Make sure you're a member of our groups: American Regulators, Boogie with Bull, True Patriot Talk, Conservative Freedom Defenders with Art Sessa, MAGA News Nation with Vita Marie Harmon, and let's see, Red Patriots for America with everybody else. There's an admin in that group. From there we go to the Love groups, the Hardcore Conservatives group, the World United as One against government overreach, which is very active, having a discussion between Israeli Jews, most over in Israel, and a strong faction of Israeli Jews now living in the United States. So you might want to join the World United as One against government overreach. Other government overreaching dialogues are starting to happen in that group. Also, United Patriotic News used to be the United Media Group Uncensored. Now it's United Patriotic News with Roland Hatton and I. And make sure you're in those groups. And it's Marathon Membership Weekend now. So if you're not a member of that group, join that group. If you're on an invited member list in any of those groups, make sure you join this weekend. Also remember, you only get 3 weeks. That's 21 days to preview a group, and then you get removed from the invited member list. You're still welcome to join the group. You just after 21 days, we have decided that that's enough time for you to preview a group. If you only want to join a group to read the group news feed, then that's fine. But go off the invited members list at 3 weeks by either accepting your membership or joining the group. Facebook has said a lot of times over the years they don't like to see hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of members on an invited members list who never join. So if you are joining a group just because, if you're in preview mode just because you want to read group news feeds in your Facebook news feed, that's fine. Join the group and read them. But we hope eventually you will find something that you want to post in the groups or comment on posts that are in the groups. Anyway, you've been watching Boogie with the Bull, Red Friday Morning Caffeine, a copyrighted presentation of the No Budget Broadcasting Company. We shared to 1 million groups on Facebook, including my Facebook profile, Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel, and if you follow at Boogie WT Bull, the Boogie with the Bull X account, you can watch it there. There's no live chat on the at Boogie WT Bull link. If you want to be in a live chat and you don't want to be on Facebook, or you're not on Facebook, then go to the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel and be in the live chat there. Anyway, I gotta go. Time I'm hungry. Time for bagels and coffee and other stuff. And yarn sales. We're gonna go look for yarn and yarn on sale at Michael's, maybe Joanne, maybe the $1.25 Tree, and any place else that good yarn is sold. And speaking about good yarn, make sure you join the Family Treasures page. It has a chicken, a white chicken with speckles on it. This is an example of the beautiful things they make. This is a Highland cow. The screen is not large enough for me to show you the whole thing. But this is a Highland cow. And see, this is a Highland cow. And that's one of the things that is available. This particular one was a gift for someone. But go to the Family Treasures page, like the page, scroll through the page, and you will see all kinds of cool handmade crochet items by my wife Donna and our daughter-in-law Angela. And you'll also know of craft shows that they will be at, so that you can come and buy stuff. If you don't see things that you would normally go to a craft show and buy, have a special order, message Donna and with what you need, and she will make it for you and price it accordingly. Prices are really good. That's all I'm going to say. Prices are really good, and that's about it.